the story of the time that I went to a bridal shop as a bride and never wanted to go back. So this was about 2 months after I got engaged and I really wanted to start trying on dresses. So I texted my friend Rebecca and I said, hey, do you want to go with me? And she said, absolutely. So it was a Saturday and I started calling around because of course I didn't make a previous appointment because this is my first time doing it. And most of the bridal shops were closed. By closed, I mean already booked. And so I ended up finding a bridal shop after calling around for a little bit that was open and had an appointment at 2. So I was like, I'll take it. How much is it? And the lady's like, nope, it doesn't cost anything. I was like, awesome. And she's asking me a few different questions about what I want in a dress, things like that. And I was like, great. And she goes, have you tried on dresses before? And I said, nope, this is my first time. I just got engaged, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, oh, then it's going to be $25. Now you're probably thinking, didn't you just say that she said it was free? I did. She changed her mind. Should have been a red flag, but I digress. So Rebecca picks me up, we go to the bridal shop, and we are about 10 minutes early. Now on the outside of this bridal shop, we cannot see in. Like the windows are tinted, so we're 10 minutes early. We're like, you know what, we'll go in, we'll sit down, we'll wait, or maybe she'll be ready for us. So we go in, and this bridal shop is tiny. Like this bridal shop has room for one bride and her family or whoever she brought and no one else. And because we couldn't see inside when we walked in, there was a bride and her family already in there, and the bridal assistant is like, do you guys have an appointment? And I'm like, yeah, my appointment's at 2. And she goes, okay, well, you're gonna have to wait outside. And I said, okay, no problem, because I was so embarrassed that I walked in on this other bride trying on dresses and everything like that. So I was like, absolutely no problem, we go outside. Thankfully, it was nice, so it was fine. So at about 2 o'clock, the bride and her family that we walked in on ended up leaving, and we end up walking in. And the bridal assistant is like, okay, what are you looking for in a dress? I knew at that moment I wanted 3 things. I wanted a white dress, I wanted A-line, and I wanted sleeves and a square neckline, but that's kind of 4, but those were my top 3. And she's like, okay, do you have any pictures? I show her some pictures on my Pinterest, and she goes, okay, because this is your first time trying on dresses, I'm gonna put you in some things that you may not like, but it's just to figure out that you definitely don't like them. And I said, okay, I'll try on whatever. The first dress she puts me in is a very, very deep V neckline. It was white, it was form-fitting. I didn't like it. I told her, I was like, this is white, it's pretty, but it's not my thing. It makes me feel a lot older than I actually am. And she says, okay, the next one she puts me in is a strapless cat ear dress. Really weird, really funky. It was white, but it was strapless and really heavy, and it felt like a ball gown almost. So I told her, no, I don't really like this one. Tried on the next one. It was bedazzled and again, really heavy. So I was like, nope, not this one either. Now again, I do want to reiterate that this is a one bride at a time store. There was one dressing room, one mirror, one pedestal for the bride to stand on, and a couch for that family. Like that was it. It was a very small bridal shop. And there was only one bridal assistant. Now that I said that, these 2 women walk in the middle of my appointment, and I'm expecting the bridal assistant to do the same thing she did to us, which was, hey, do you have an appointment? Okay, please wait outside until this appointment is finished. Nope, she walks up to these 2 women and says, hi ladies, how are we doing today? And the ladies are like, oh, we're good. We just saw the bridal shop from outside and we thought we'd come in and take a look. And the bridal assistant is like, oh, please stay as long as you like. Here's my card if you need anything. Let me know if you have any questions. Stay as long as you like. Okay. So I'm looking at my friend Rebecca, and Rebecca's looking at me, and we're both like, okay. Thankfully, the ladies didn't stay that long, and then I was put into another dress that was just not what I asked for. None of the dresses she put me in had sleeves. None of them had a square neckline. 2 of them were not white, and I only tried on about 5 or 6 dresses. So I was like, do you mind if I go and look at all the dresses you have? And the bridal assistant was like, absolutely, go look. And so as I'm looking, I find one that has like tiered ruffles. I thought it was really pretty, and I was like, oh, that's really pretty. And she goes, that's exactly what you told me you didn't like. And I was like, oh, I know, I just thought it was pretty. Don't get me wrong, all the dresses I tried on were gorgeous. They just weren't the dress that I was looking for. But after that, I tried on a dress that I did end up picking out, and it still wasn't what I was looking for. It was off the shoulder, so I thought maybe it would feel like sleeves, but it didn't. Honestly, the whole try-on experience was really disappointing because it just felt like whatever feedback I was giving her, she was not listening to and just putting me in kind of whatever she wanted. But afterward, my friend and I ended up leaving. We got into the car, and we'd only been friends for a few months, and we weren't at that part where she could just say whatever she wanted and I could say whatever I wanted to her. But she looked at me and I could tell she had something to say. So I was like, what? And she's like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. All those dresses were ugly. And I was like, yeah, they were not my thing. And we kind of just talked about the whole experience, and we were both really disappointed with it. So thankfully, I went to many other bridal shops, and all of those experiences were amazing. If you want to see those, they are on my page from a while ago.